Champions have been crowned. The Georgia high school season is now over. And here to discuss those state finals and what comes next, I'm Cory McCartney, here to take three cuts with PBR Georgia Scouting Director Phil Kerber. Phil, good to have you back in.
Thanks for having me. It's been a busy last month this season. The playoffs did not disappoint.
Yeah, so let's start with those state champions. Mount Paran, Metter, Jeff Davis, North Hall, Marist, Starrs Mill, Houston County, and Parkview. There's some repeats there. The 14th state title for Marist. But there's three first-time state champions in Mount Paran, Metter, and Starrs Mill. Phil, these finals were full of surprises.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to be able to witness 6 of the 8. Unfortunately, did not get down to Savannah. And for those that were keeping score at home, I was 2 for 8 on my picks. So, I rightfully got some criticism. An apology to anyone from Rustin Rigdon and Metter to Thad Ector at Starrs Mill. I deserve to be called out. Big congrats to those guys. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. And some of those series were seemed like everybody saved their best baseball for last. From the Marist walk-off the very first night to such a complete 2-game series that Starrs Mill played. The ending of the Parkview game, which had over 6,000 people at it, new attendance record for the GHSA finals. It really had everything.
Yeah, you put together your final Class 7A through 1A polls at PBR Georgia when we talk about the finish to this. And when you look at those last rankings, when you think about where things started, what to you were the defining storylines for high school baseball in Georgia this season?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many. I mean, first of all, I think you got to mention Buford being, knocked out in the second round. That's got to be one of the biggest storylines. Houston County going really toe-to-toe, being a top-ranked team all year and finishing as the number 1 in 6A. And then Lassiter, who I'll admit it, I didn't think that they'd make it this far. Looking at the road that they had to travel through the playoffs, they battled. They beat Carrollton. They beat Pope after not beating them all year in region play. And then they played it real tight with Houston County. So hats off to them and Coach Kyle Ruste on an incredible season. And then you look at 5, like Starrs Mill, they looked like I would have loved to see them go up against Houston County, because Starrs Mill in those 2 games against Loganville were absolutely flawless. They did everything perfectly. And the same could be said for Marist. Those 2 games against Benedictine, they did everything right. They fielded well, they hit well, they pitched well. It was just, I can keep going. But North Hall, 3-game series against Franklin County, game 3 to win 1-0, the amount of pressure that was on them in that 7th inning, the go-ahead run was at the plate, but they got it done. And I wasn't able to get down to 2A, 1A, but Jeff Davis winning yet another state title. And Metter, 3-game series with Gordon Lee. I had picked Gordon Lee before, but Metter come back in game 3 to take the 1A public. That looked impressive. I saw a video of it, and those guys I know were tweeting at me quite a bit, letting me know that that I picked against them. And then Mount Paran, who, man, they might be the best team in state next year. They're 1A private. I mean, they are an absolutely loaded team. So just from top to bottom there's storylines everywhere. I know I just kind of went off a huge rant there, but there it all is, man. Soak it all in.
Yeah, it's cliche, but it really is. It's about playing your best baseball at the right time. And no matter what those early rankings tell you, those teams certainly got it done. Now, finally, we turn our attention to the summer season. Begins this weekend at LakePoint Sports with the state games of Georgia. Phil, what lies ahead in a really busy schedule?
Yeah, should be no days off, that's for sure. So, if you follow me on Twitter, there's going to be a constant stream of content coming out there. But one of the weeks that I've really got circled is June 8th, June 13th. We are running 3 showcases, and during the week, June 8th, we've got our top prospect games, which is uncommitted 22s, and then followed by our pro case, which is going to be a really high level MLB prospect guys, 22s, 23s, 24s, all going to work out together. Following day, June 9th, underclass games, top uncommitted 23s, 25s in the state. It's always been a really, really good event. If you're a college coach looking to get an early start in recruiting, I highly recommend that event. And then that's going to roll right into the National Program Invitational, which is, probably the best travel tournament in the entire country for the summer. It's going to be a loaded tournament with loaded programs. June 8th, June 13th, you should be in Atlanta at LakePoint. That's it. And then we're also going to be getting on the road more. We'll be in Savannah and Columbus this year for showcases. So, we're going to make it a little easier for the people to come to us instead of everybody coming to LakePoint.
Well, but it all culminates in the future games at LakePoint Sports, so
Yes.
don't leave that one out of the equation too. So he mentioned it. He is on Twitter at Phil Kerber PBR, and while you're following him, make sure you're following PBR Georgia as well. Phil, thanks, and enjoy the hecticness that's about to come in the summer baseball schedule.
Thanks, Cory.